Mel on the line. He awaits eagerly, and we're going to talk about poo, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Mel Padgett is the Queensland Rotary Bowelscan social man that we talk about poo. Good morning to you, Mel. How are you?
Morning, Blandy. I'm very good, thank you very much.
Good on you, mate. Now, okay, it's a subject that, there are plenty of poo jokes we giggle at, etc. A lot of people don't like talking about poo, though.
No, that's well. Look. I think actually, there's some research that suggests that it's a survival thing. We've grown up with it, so that if we reject poo, then we aren't going to be exposed to other animals or other people's pathogens. So
is that right?
Yeah, that's one theory. Yes, but
okay.
So
we all do it, mate. Unless you're Kim Jong-un, of course. We all know he doesn't. But yes, it's something that we all do on, I would imagine, a regular basis.
Exactly, it's a natural thing. But what we're trying to do is educate people and say that if you do test your poo regularly, if you're over 50, you should be using the government test kits, but only 40% get returned, which is pretty crazy.
Okay, and it's absolutely free, and the reason is we don't want to poo into a bit of paper or whatever the case may be and send it back.
That's right. Yeah, well, I'm actually interviewing a professor from Adelaide University. She studied why people are rejecting the bowel cancer test kits, because it is a problem. It's a very expensive problem, and it's actually it costs $1.1 billion annually to treat bowel cancer in Australia. It's the highest cost cancer to treat.
And I think, mate, one of the greatest stats here is it's the easiest cancer to detect. You can detect it up to a decade.
That's right.
It becomes actually lethal. So
Yep.
It is one of those things we can really stamp out.
Exactly, yes. Like things like pancreatic cancer or lung cancer, you can't detect that until it's a problem. But with bowel cancer, generally polyps, they bleed and leave a little bit of blood, and so they develop up to 10 years before it becomes a problem. So it's very easy to avoid expense and heartache and so on.
Now, Mel, the over 50s get the free kit sent out. So what about the under 50s? The message there is you really should be having a look at that too.
Yes, well, particularly if you've got bowel cancer in your family. A lot of people don't know that people have had bowel cancer, and I'll be interviewing a fellow tomorrow, and he was in his mid-30s, and I convinced he and his brother to buy a kit last year, and he didn't know his father had polyps, and he had 27 polyps and 5 were cancerous. So for $20, he's dodged a big bullet.
So what do we do? Do we just go to the doctor and say, look, I want the kit? Or
No, you can buy them off us. That's
what it's all about?
That's it.
Okay, well, how do they do that, mate?
Well, all you do is you go to our website. If you search for #BowelscanQLD, you'll find our website, or it's www.bowelscanqueensland.org.au. And we're selling them for $20 until June 30. And it's very easy. Actually, what you do is you buy the kit, you do the test, and you drop it off at a Sullivan Nicoletti's pathology collection place, and they do our testing for free, which is fantastic. And because it is for free, then we pass that saving on to the people who buy the kits. So that's why they're so cheap.
Okay, Bowelscan QLD, if you Google that, then no doubt it'll come up, mate. Look,
Yep.
It's one of those things you can say, oh, yeah, should do that. If you put it off long enough, it can really, you could pay the ultimate price.
Yeah, well, if you talk to somebody who's had bowel cancer, if they say, would you rather go through all the treatment and the surgery and everything else, or would you rather just do a simple test you can do in your own home? And they said, look, fair income, it's a no-brainer. And tomorrow, I'm actually, later today, I'm actually interviewing a couple of people. They're in the early 30s, and they got bowel cancer. And one, he's got a bag. He had his whole colon and his intestine removed. He's got a bag the rest of his life.
Oh, gee, okay, mate. Well, I guess the message is, hey, do something about it right now. Save yourself some grief down the track, and it is something that we can knock on the head. Hey, Mel, thanks for your time this morning, mate. Bowelscan Queensland is where you need to go, and get that $20 kit if you're under 50, and hey, could well save your life. Good on you, Mel.
Good. Thanks so much for your time, Blandy. You're a legend.
Oh, I don't know about that, but put it in writing, that'd be even better.
Good on you.